shorted out, cooked. I don't know. So this is the stock switch for the Dewalt. What's up, Tim? How is life? So my Dewalt planer, me and my brother were using yesterday, and it sucked up a knot and stopped the thing dead in its track. And it was groaning and moaning, and I shut it off. It's got a built-in circuit breaker, and I thought it was a circuit breaker because it's a known issue for that Dewalt to pop the circuit breaker, and after it's popped a couple times, and I popped it more than once, they wear out and the circuit breaker goes dead. So I bypassed the circuit breaker. I was going to order a new one. I just took the wire out of the circuit breaker and fed it straight into the switch. None. So I was like, okay, well, there's another safety switch. It's a very small little wimpy switch. Because the last thing I figured was this big monstrosity was going to wear out and die. There's a little itty bitty, kind of like the same thing we have on our 3D printers. It's a little tiny switch that it's feeding 120 through. That's a safety switch to make sure the cover's on. So that was my next one I bypassed. And that didn't get it going. So finally I direct wired this in, which is another switch I have for the that I was going to put on my jointer. Because my jointer, I like these flappy pedal offs with the big, I do like this. Even with the Dewalt, you pull it up and it's, emergency, you freaking slap it down. Yeah, no, I can't work in Canada. For one, to build houses in Canada, you actually have to go to school. And you have to actually get a certificate and then get a license. Here in the United States, you do whatever the hell you want. You just got to get insurance. Believe me, Canada's better. I can't work right now anyways, between my knee and my back and my shoulder. I'm too beat up. But anyway, I'm pretty much retired from that anyways. So anyway, I hooked this switch up temporarily. Just plugged it in, and it worked. Bypassed everything. This switch works. This is actually a slightly beefier switch than this one. And it will fit in here. I took it out of its little flappy panel plate. And it sort of fits in there, but it's not staying. This actually just clips in. It's got those two little white clips and it snaps into place, but it's not, it comes out too easily. And I kind of want the flappy panel to shut it off in case of an emergency. This won't fit in the opening. That don't fit in there. But this sort of does. Like so. Somehow I had it before, but it kind of covers the off button here. So what I think I'm going to do is design a plate to put over this, hold this in place, so I can trap it down. This got a little. I just kicked myself out by dropping it on the keyboard. Yes, there's building codes, but there's no building licenses in the United States. You don't have to have an education to build a house in the United States. You don't have to go to school. You don't have to. All you need, you should get a state license. Every state has licensing. You actually don't need it. There's no law you need it. The licensing is a proof of your knowledge, I guess. Nobody gets them unless they're like big corporate builders that want to charge extra. Most people, there's a few areas you have to get licensed. Like if you're doing modular homes, you have to be licensed. If you're installing modulars, because they're very tricky and annoying, and you need to set them correct. But most builders around here, sometimes the like bigger builders will have licenses, but I was just always a sub. Either that or I worked for a big corporation and the corporation had the license. But a license is just a convenience. New York has a very strict licensing for some of its areas, but most places it's like if you go up, what's up, Bill Overbot? Yeah. You don't even get in trouble. As long as you have insurance, they don't really give a crap. You still have inspections and everything, so the inspector is supposed to catch anything you do wrong. In theory. Most of the time, the inspectors are more. Anyways, we won't get into that. This is my problem right now. I need to fix this because I need this puppy running. That sort of fits in there. I do want to make a flappy panel again. So I think I'm going to design a little plate that goes into the 4 screw holes here. Traps this thing down. Very simple. Because this sort of snaps in. It's just not strong enough to actually hold it. This opening's a little wide for it. But I'm not even gonna make the hole smaller. I'm just gonna make a plate that traps right over the whole thing because it's got the lip here. And I might even make it so it comes up and I have a flappy panel for it to shut it off. Now this is my planer front face. This switch that normally goes in there kicked the bucket yesterday. Shorted out, did something. I'm not going to snap it in there, but that goes in there like so. And then I snap it in there, I'll have a bitch of a time getting it back out. Oops, I got it upside down. It goes that way. You know, you pull the trigger up and the planer starts. And then you push the trigger down and the planer stops. And I want the safety flappy panel like these, which is what I bought this for. I actually bought this to put on my jointer, which just has this. And it's almost the same as this. So I'm hoping even if I mount this on here, I can just take this and mount it over my existing switch on the jointer. I just like having that ability to, like, if something freaks out, you can just slap the off switch, where this is kind of hard to find the little button. I mean, these work really well because it's just a slap and it's off. You know, it's all protected, and because this thing normally goes over it. So, you know, it's protected from like boards hitting it or something, but you can slap it and shut the machine off in case of an emergency. So I like the emergency flappy panel shut off thing. But this is the switch I have. From what I can read here, it matches close enough in the electrical crap. This is actually a little more beefy. And it's definitely beefier too. You can feel it. It's just weighted. It's also a magnet switch where this is a mechanical. I may actually pull this apart and see if I can fix it. It may just have a bad connector in there somewhere. You know, something sturdy or got covered in some sawdust and shorted out, or I don't know. But this is this thing weighs like 10 times as much. It is a magnet. It's a soft magnet magno switch. There's none of these. You know, it's a momentary switch. You turn it on and you turn it off, but they don't. It's not mechanical. It's magnet driven. So you push it on, but the on switch comes right back out, and you push it off, and the on. But this is definitely a beefier, nicer switch than this. Again, this is mechanical, so I kind of like mechanical better. I trust it more because it either works or it doesn't. Like it doesn't now. These sometimes will get flighty, but anyway, for now I can get it working. This is the fuse. It's got a built-in fuse, which is what I originally thought went, but I tested it and it seems to work. So I just have to mount this in here somehow or another. And I mean, it actually looks like it would fit and everything. You know, it would look good. So that's what we're going to do. I am going to measure and design and fusionate. Let's fire up Fusion while I'm babbling because it takes it 5 minutes to fire up anyways. So I'll take some measurements and I'll design and 3D print a plate to go over this that will screw to this. And again, I think I'll design some kind of army flappy panel-y something. Yes, electrical, you do need a license. General construction, you don't. pretty much everything you need a license for, everything but the actual wood structure, which is what I did. I don't do electrical. I don't do plumbing. I don't do any of the license stuff. Though I do, but only for myself or small people. And generally, if I do electrical, I will run the wires and hire an electrician to come in and tie everything together and have it inspected by an electrician before the electrical inspection happens. Same with plumbing. I will often run the plumbing, which most of my plumbers love. And my electricians love it because they actually make more money to just come in and work for an hour. I mean, they charge, $200 to come in for an hour instead of having to come, for days and days and days and drill holes and run wires and deal with insulation if it's a remodel and all that. They much prefer we run all the wires and just, we put them in the box. We put them wherever it's running to, if it's going all the way to a circuit breaker or another box or, junction or, and make sure everything's the code. They'll come in, check everything, say, yes, it's the code, tie all the outlets together. We're not supposed to do even the outlets, which are stupidly easy. But I get it. I mean, there's a reason there's codes because people do stupid crap. But anyways, this is more important. This is my Dewalt planer, and I need to fix it. So I have Fusion fired up, and I'm going to take some measurements and share the screen at the same time. Share screen. Just share the entire screen because it's just easier. And there's my Fusionation screen, and here's my thingamabobby screen. And all I really need to see is chat. So the first thing I got to do is just get a basic filler plate for here, which is basically the same thing as this. So I can probably get the measurements dressed off of this easier. And I think I will. And then trying to do it off of that. So let's take some measurements. I'm going to need my glasses, which are right here. And the first thing I'm going to do is draw a very basic square. And then take these here calipers that I need to replace because the battery door isn't staying on well. I have to blue tape it on nowadays, which is kind of sad, but oh well. And it is 49.6. 49.7. Let's get a better 50. So 50 it is. What's it down here? It kind of opens up on the bottom. Doesn't really need to. 55. 55 fit up here too. Yes, it will. Quite easily. So I think I'm going to just stick with a 55. Okay. And then let's go this way. So 55 by 85 and a half-ish. And again, that probably doesn't have to be exact. 85.5. So 85.5 or 5 because my fat fingers hit too many keys at once. And did I say 55? Yeah, 55 would work just fine. 55. All right. Then a hole in the middle, but it's not actually in the middle, I don't think. I think it's offset. And let's measure the hole arrangement, because that'll be next. 31. Why am I doing it on there when I can do it on here, which is a lot easier? Now, if people never knew, when you need center to center on one of these things, you don't actually have to sit here and try and find the center of the holes and hole them. Left to left or right to right is the same as center to center. So you pitch it up against the left or right, and then you line the other one up to the other side of the left. And that's your center to center, which is 29, 29, 29. And this one, let's draw another box. I'm not going to center it on there yet. So 29 by, because it's not actually going to be centered, I don't think, on this. Although maybe these holes will be. 29 by 70, whoops. I'm not doing left to left, I was doing out to out. That would have screwed me all up. 74. That'll look right. Can't see because it's all black and my eyes are blind. Yep, 74. Almost exactly. Turn. That is the hole pattern for the screws. Let's see, they are 4.5. So if I do 5s, I got plenty of play room. Five. And then just do a bunch of little circles in these corners. And then do all equals. This one equals that one. Oops. And this one, whoops. I didn't want that. I want that. And that. And that. And that. And then they're all the same size. And then I want to take this whole thing and just make it a construction line. Because that really doesn't have much to do with anything. And I don't think I want to center it. But maybe I do. I really don't. I really don't. Command Z. So the next trip in my figuring out how to line it up thing is figuring out, as you can see, the holes on the bottom here. I don't know how much of this you can see. If it helps and you're interested, not from me, but there are both large format computer keyboards and computer noises. And by the way, I do not make a cent off it. Whatever that is, I have no idea what you're talking about, but sure. I like my little keyboard. I used to have full-size keyboards, and I actually like the little one better, which is really surprising. Because the buttons are the same. Okay. Down from that to that is 8 millimeters. So it does have to be centered. So the next thing I want to do is just put a center line up, escape, make this a construction line because all it is a reference. Then I want to take this and lock it onto that line, but I don't want it on there. Then I want to take that hole and I have, now what I'm doing is measuring from the top of this to the bottom of that hole, top of this, bottom of that hole, top of this to the top of that hole, because as you can see, this is slightly offset. So it is, let's see, 9 millimeters to the bottom of this down here. So if this is 5, that's 2.5 from 9 is 6.5, correct? So if I bring this down. Come on, go down. I don't want it there. Something doesn't look like it's going to compute right, but we're going to figure it out. And I hit dimension, and I go from there to there at 6.5. Why does it look like it's centered and yet it's not? Okay, it's not. It's close, but it's not centered. Escape. And actually, I'm going to make it a little bit higher. So I'm going to make it so there's a little play up here. 6.25, which might actually just close to center it, but nope, not quite. Now I need to do another one for this little square here, which is 17 from the top. And it's actually, let's do it from the side. I can actually get the calipers in. 30 by 49-ish, and I'd rather it be a little big. 30 by 49. So we need to draw a square. 30 by 49. And also lock that to that. But then I want to dimension it down from there to there is 17. So dimension this to this, and make it 17. That should be my switch plate. Yeah, that should do it. And that should make this work in this. Now, I do have to make this trap over it, but I'll do that to that hole after. What is up, Marcus? I'm not even looking at it at this thing. Yes. Is that better? You probably won't be able to see it. Completely. Is that any better? View on Twitch. How does it look? Yeah, you're not going to get much better than that. Don't forget, I'm only running at 720. So you're not going to get like a really good... Oops. What the hell did I just do? Anyway, back to work. And why is that blue? Can I move that down? I don't think it's locked to that. Because it's got a dimension, right? 30? Yep. So this, I believe it's that one. Nope. It's this one here. So this needs to be coincidence with that. And that should lock those all in. And it did. Look at that. Let's get all of this crap out of the way. Escape. What happened? It's not what I want. I want that out of the way. And that's a 5mm hole. And then all my dimensions are outside where they should be. And I really, really wish, what the hell did this thing do? I really wish they'd do a different color for dimensions instead of everything being black. Because that's really very annoying. This is very confusing with these all being black. Block should be something besides black. Your outline, your actual drawing should be black, but your whatever. Let's extrude that out, and I'm gonna need a lot because I'm gonna need to overlap this lip. And stick out, and it really doesn't matter how much. I think I'm going to go like 15. Actually, I think I'm going to go like 10, because that's 4.5. If I squeeze a little bit, so it catches that seal. Yeah, 4.5. So if I go to 10, that clears this. And doesn't get in the way of the pivot point in the switch. So let's extrude it 10. 10. That's my basic cover plate. It's very nice and thick. And everything's centered. And these are going to just confuse me, so I'm going to get rid of that one and then take this one and make a new sketch on that face, because basically what I'm going to end up doing is just flipping it upside down. And I want to take a square out of that hole, 56 by 35. It's like 34.9. So if I go 35 by 55.7, so 56. 55.8, yeah, 56. So 35 by 56, yep. So if I take this, and that's not centered, but I can make a center off of it by just doing this. Escape, which is just off center. Getting rid of that and making that. Random Tinkerer. Hi, Random Tinkerer. How are you today? Whoops. I clicked on my own screen. Okay. This needs to be a construction line, and I need to zoom in, and I need to hit that point, not this point. And now I don't remember what the hell the size was. 35? Is that what I said before? Yep, 35. Tab, 35. Tab, by. $55.7, so 56. 56. And I will just backset this into this negative, and I say 4 point something. I want it to collapse it a little bit. I got about 4.5 by slowly pushing on it. I'm giving this rubber a little bit of oomph. So there's a little rubber seal on the back of this, which I actually want, but you want to compress it just a little bit. So 4.67, 4.65. If I really squeeze it, I can bring it down to just 4. So I think I'm going to do 4.5. Negative 4.5. That's my basic plate. I could just screw it on there. It's simple. I'm not even going to round corners off or nothing. I may countersink the screw holes, which I am going to do. And just multiple offset. Never thought about that. Will it let me? No. Only let me do one at a time. 2 maybe. That might be a bit much, but it ain't gonna hurt nothing. And it won't let me select another one, will it? That's bizarre. Why can't I do multiples? I could swear it used to let me. Two. Actually, I only need it to be 1, huh? Because that gives me 2 millimeters more space. I'm gonna go 1.5. It's 1.5. That gives me 3 millimeters of head space. I know they're not that big of heads. And I could have just done a circle and then copied and equalized and all that crap, but this was more fun. So many ways to do the same darn thing. I might have to get longer screws, but I'm okay with that. I'm still going to do this back a little bit. And let's see if I leave 5 millimeters. That means I can go -5 because I did 10, if I remember correctly. And that still gives me 5 millimeters of 3D printed material to squish. Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good. And there we have it. Sketches. And that's my little plate to hold this puppy. Hopefully. I can round these corners off, but you know what? I'm not even going to bother. Because this is a temporary. I'm going to buy a proper switch again, even though I think this is probably a better switch in the long run. Because you know what? I am going to angle this because this is which one's the top? This one's the top. Let's go back to reality here. Go to the top. Actually, go to the right side. Whoa, it just flipped out on me. See that kind of annoys me sometimes. All right, here's the top. The switch. I am going to put a chamfer on it. And I'm going to do 2 distances. And I'm just going to kind of guess here. Because of the angle of this right here on the cover. I don't want to be hitting my knuckles on the sharp 3D print. So let's do this. 10. And let's do this. Are they both 10? Well, wait. What's this one? Why is that less? It should be more. Yeah. That one's. Let's do it. I like 11. Let's do this one. 5. Maybe even 6. Sure. And that means I'm not catching my hand on the sharp corner here when I go to turn it on and off. The bottom I don't care about because there's nothing down there. I'm never going to be whacking my hand on it. The only thing I do might want to change is, what's up, Steven? Is I'm going to get this out of the way a little bit so I can see the chat. There we go. is I eventually, if I keep this, I want to make it so I can put some kind of flappy panel, which means I'll need to bring that back up or put some kind of flappy panel hinge in here. But for now, that should be all I need. And actually, I put that chamfer on the wrong side. Nancy, because that's the back, even though it says it's the top. This is the top, right here. That's where I want my chamfer. So 5, tab, 11, tab, 5. This one needs to be 11, tab. This one needs to be 5. Here we go. There we go. And that should make everything work. Actually, I think I extruded this like 15, not 10, didn't I? Nope, I did 10. All right. Everything works out. I'm okay with this. This should work. I'll have to put supports under here, but that's not a big deal. And then I can just screw this sucker down. It'll screw into this. How long is this? How thick is this? This thing's really thin. It is 3. So I'm using 2 more millimeters of screw length, but I'm really not, because this thing's added on there too. And that spaces it out a lot. It uses the same screws. So the screws, I was worried the screws would be too short because this is super thin and I just made it a 5 millimeter, but I don't think it'll be a problem because I do want to use the same screws. And then that will go in there. This new plate will trap over it. And that will be that. So I have some PETG stuck in the Prusa right now. It's been very hot and humid. And it's been open. Do I want to use the bright orange Amazon Basics PETG that's been out in the humidity for 2 weeks? Well, a week. Been out in the humidity for about a week. Do it. Or I could just use PLA, which I'm fine with this being PLA. PLA is actually stronger, but in this case, it might be better to have the flexibility of the PETG instead of just the hard BS of the PLA. I do have a profile for PETG, don't I? Because I think I got it from Sergio. Pretty PLA, pretty PETG. I do have a profile for that machine with PETG. I don't know if it's for Amazon PETG, but it is for PETG. So let's fire it up. Get the pie rolling. Get the printer rolling. And I will. I'll just use that crappy orange. Actually, I shouldn't call it crappy orange. I actually like that PETG. File save this thing. Save. We will call it Dewalt Switch. I'll just call it Dewalt Switch. What am I doing? Switch cover. And we will put it in tools down here somewhere. Tools. Save. So now it's saved. I can take this body, rename it, because it'll be. Call it Switch. Save again, because now that I renamed it. And save as mesh. Can I save it as a 3MF? Can I export as a step? Because that's the other thing I can do. I can play with export. Where's export? I know it's here somewhere. Save as mesh. Okay, go away, I said. File. Export. EMF object. Step. The step file. What to go to the desktop. Just for giggles. I have the new Prusa slicer. And this is a Prusa bear. And now I gotta remember how to do Prusa slicer bull crap. Let's get rid of this. We don't need mail. Fusion still running because I might have to re-export. Open in Finder. Where the hell's the Prusa slicer? LMNOP Prusa slicer. Let's put it over here with all the other slicers. And fire it up. Supposedly, the new Prusa slicer will now start updates, otherwise it will not be able to start. Okay. Did you know that you can print infill with a height layer comparable to parameters to save print time using these settings? Not a clue. So, I need to filament, file, import configure. I wonder if it's a bundle or because I need this pretty PETG open. Because that's what I'm going to use. That's the one Sergio sent me for. Oh, it did everything. Printer. See, I don't get that. Why didn't it just do the PETG settings and leave my damn printer alone? I don't know. I have a hard time with frickin' Prusa slicer, to be honest with you. I find it very obnoxious. And let's spin it. How do we spin it? Right here. Is there a way to do it by calculations where I can just type it in? Where's the rotate? Why did it rotate? Did it do it evenly? I don't know. That's why I like Idea Maker. That just made no sense to me. Can I rotate? What's this one? Is that considered Y? So if I rotate it 180, yeah, it's not that Prusa slice is hard, but look, I rotated it, I typed it in, and now it's reading 0 again. Why is it reading 0? World coordinates. I rotated it 180 degrees, but now it's reading 0 after I rotate it. Like, it never got rotated. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Let's just slice it with those settings. And it's not making any supports. And I definitely need supports. Oh, printer settings. Let's use the Barry Bear or Cocky. Print settings. The PETG, but where's my skirt brim support material? Generate support material. Why would that be off? Slice now. I really hate his supports on this. Look at that weird like skirt that you don't need, but whatever. It'll work. How long is it going to take to print it? Say an hour and 43 minutes. Yeah, this is a bear. And it's all more Cockies. It's Sergio sent me this. It's a Prusa bear. It's not your standard Prusa. And it's all him and Warakaki did the whole profile. And he just sent me all the profiles yesterday and all the slicer settings and all that crap. So I'm just going to use that. I did edit some of the actual printer settings to do some stuff ahead of time. I don't know if he did or not, but I know they work for the printer. But all the filament and the print settings, I'm just going to leave with this. Holy crap. Gyroid infill. Whatever. It's good infill. Not really necessary, but I find it just, I love gyroid. It's strong. It works well, blah, 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 blah. The downside of gyroid, I find, is it just vibrates the crap out of the printer. Export G-code. Let's give it a shot. And let's bring up Safari because I have that all set up for the printer already, and hopefully the printer will connect because my Wi-Fi has been all screwy because my brother screwed with it, but it looks like it worked. On the Octo blog, Mark is red, I don't care. New plugin repository, Mark is red. Update, I'm not going to update right now. Update available for the following components. Octoprint 1.8.2. You know, I'm just not right now. I just want to upload and desktop and Dewalt switch. This is the other thing that drives me nuts with all this crap it adds to the name. All I needed was Dewalt switch, which I spelled completely wrong. How'd that R get in there? Oh, I know, because I can't type. And hit print. And let's see if it actually works, because I have not done much to this printer. Save. And it won't let me save. I'll just go away. See, this is what I freaking did. Okay, yes, save. Why can't I save? Ugh. It's making me change the name to save it. Okay, whatever, dude. I find Prusa Slicer extremely confusing and unnecessarily goofy. Is this thing heating up? Aqua print ready. Absolutely nothing going on. Why isn't it heating up? Print. State printing. Heating. Okay. Starting to work. One of these days I'll figure out this printer. All the fans just kicked on. The fan just kicked on. Here, I'll even let you see it over there because it like lights up and crap. And we don't need to share the screen anymore because he put this bar light up here. This right here. That changes colors as it heats up and crap. And you probably can't hear it, but one thing I don't like about that printer right now is that fan. Because it's going, whoa, 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 whoa. It's pulsating. But you don't have a bear, do you, Marcus? I mean, it's pulsating really badly now. And it sounds like a plastic tinny freaking thing. There's a few things about that printer I don't particularly like. It prints really well, though, so I don't really want to screw with it right away. But I hate that fan pulsing thing. Yeah, you just have a regular one. That's a Bear modified. It's got a true Bondtech extruder, not the Bondtech / Prusa extruder. It's got just a regular Bondtech, whatever it was. It's got an SKR board, not the Heinze board. There's not much left on it that's original Prusa. I think the only thing left on it are like the lead screws and the threaded or the smooth rods and bearings. And actually, the bearings aren't, because he put I guess bearings on it, which is another thing I'm gonna get rid of. Because the one on the bed of the I guess bearings, there's two on one side and one on the other. The one on the one side all by itself, and actually I think the other ones are too, has like a belled wear in it, and it makes the whole bed vibrate when it does fast moving. But it's only when it's fast moving, and it just sounds like you'll hear it. It only does it when it does rapid movement. When it's moving slowly, it's fine. But when it does rapid movement, it goes, like it chatters. So I think I'm going to tear it apart and put actual bearings back on it. Get rid of the I guess bearings, at least on the bed. I don't think I will on the head, because the head seems to be fine. I'm going to get rid of that damn fan that's pulsating. I'm not sure if it's the actual fan or if it's custom mounts to deal with wear. Yeah. Yeah, this is even louder with the IGUS. They're like insanely loud. I shouldn't say that. Again, it's only loud when it does rapid movement. When it's trying to move really fast, then it just sounds like a really bad 1970s Tonka truck rolling across the hardwood floor. That's the way to describe it. The old hollow plastic tires from Tonka trucks going on a hardwood floor with sand in them. It just sounds terrible when it does a rapid movement. And that fan, I don't know if you can hear it. It's not super loud, but it's going real, 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 real. And I'm not sure if it's the actual fan or if it's the controller for the fan, because they have it set up to only kick on when it hits a certain temperature. And that controller might be pulsating it instead of just keeping it on or off. It may not be an actual switch. It may be, it may not be an on-off switch. It may be get faster or slower, and it's pulsating. The bed's moving. You hear that? Oh my God. That's okay. It is doing the auto bed leveling. It's doing the tramming first, which I do like. It trams the two sides to the bed. Which, with all this auto bed leveling crap, I actually like that. But the thing about all my printers that I build without auto bed leveling don't need auto bed leveling, because I set them up flat in the first place. But it does get to be, something happens and it goes out. It is a major pain in the ass to reset it. The downside of this is there's like a 10-minute freaking all of this crap, the auto bed leveling crap, before it ever starts printing. Is it? Is it a bad thing? I don't know, because if it prints every time and it prints good and it gets good bed adhesion, and you're not dealing with it falling apart, the wasted time here is actually saving time, because you're not dealing with it not adhering. I don't generally have a problem with print adhesion, because again, I tram everything and I set all my printers up, and all I generally print is PLA or TPU, which I use the same settings for both. I don't print PETG on any of my other printers. I just don't. I never use it. You hear that thing? I don't know if you can hear it. It's like vibrating really badly. And what's its temperature set at? The tool is only at 160. It did all that at barely 150. So if there's any goopies on the nozzle from the PETG, it would have screwed up all that bed leveling. See, bed leveling never made sense to me because there's too many variables for that machine to figure it out. But we'll see. It may work. Those guys know more about this machine than I do. I've only had it, a week, 2 weeks, week and a half, something like that. 2 weeks, week and a half. That pulsating fan drives me absolutely batty. And I'm not sure if that's the actual fan or it's the controller for the fan. And I have a feeling it's the controller for the fan, not the actual fan. And that's the other thing. He wired that thing so absolutely gorgeously. It is the cleanest wiring job I think I've ever seen on a 3D printer. I mean, it's just beautiful the way he wired that thing. Oh, see, it turned white. That means it's printed. And it's printing a little line. It doesn't look great. Oh, it doesn't look bad. It started out terrible, but the end of the line looks good. And the skirt looks a little thin, but not terrible. I'm not going to touch it because my hands are all greasy. Yeah, it's hearing. It looks all right. I don't need this thing to be absolutely perfect, so I'm going to let it run with this stock, whatever those guys set it up as, and trust that they knew what they were doing. Because, again, they know more about that machine than I do. For now. Eventually, I will probably edit it and rebuild it. But for now, I don't want to screw with it. So it's probably the prettiest printer I've ever seen, to be honest with you. Well, let's see. And it's bright orange filament. And it's also probably soaking hot and wet. So if I do have any problems, it could just as well be the wet filament as it is the actual print. But the first layer looks absolutely gorgeous. So gotta say they did a good job. The Sergio, and Workaki setup looks to be working just frickin' smashingly. You know what? I'm going to tear this sucker apart. Want me to tear this switch apart that broke? I should be able to put a meter on this and test resistance or something, right? I have no idea how to do it. Marcus, you know all this electronic crap, don't you? How to make a meter work? I have a meter here somewhere. No, I do. Oh, I gotta hit the mail too. I gotta send that about. Where's my meter? I thought it was right. Oh, it might be out in the garage. Yeah, I think it's out in the garage. Oh well. I was thinking about putting a meter on it and seeing which one, because this is a dual switching. It switches the line and the neutral for safety's sake. And it's all glued together. But I still think I want to tear it apart. Put an eyeball on that print again. It's printing very slowly. But I'm okay with that because that is probably the cleanest PETG print I have ever done. I am not, again, a PETG printer person at all. Not even slightly. Can I pop that out before I take it apart? Probably not. So they got a little adhesive-y stuff here to keep this little tab from popping free. And it looks like it's actually glued right on there. But I'm going to fix that. And yes, I've tested all of my switches and everything before I came in here and started this, so I know this switch is bad. Because I plug it in and it don't work. I plug this switch in and it works. So I know this switch is bad. Pretty much a given. Come on, baby. And I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but I'm more worried about my safety with the sharp knife than I am you seeing what I'm doing. I don't know if this is going to cut it enough or not. And it's already properly broken, so I can't even fix it till it's properly broken because it's already properly broken. I can't see what the hell I'm doing. My vision has really gotten bad. Wow, they really got the glue down in there. It goes way into these, I don't know, will the camera show it? Into these little fingers. See how these fingers are holding the actual switch body on? They're actually glue jammed into little grooves here where it's, you should be able to just pull these apart, but they glued it on. And it looks like it's like chemical glue adhesive, like melts the plastic, so you can't really unglue it. You gotta actually damage it, which I'm okay with because it's a broken switch, so I don't care. I don't care anymore. Ugh. I should go get the meter and see which side is bad. I don't know if that's adhesive or just a glue, because it does seem like it's coming out kind of separately. You can see it's all turning white, and that's not ABS white. That's like a different material, gluey, yellowy white, not like ABS being cut up white, if that makes sense. I'm assuming this plastic is ABS or ASA. One of those two, or some form of them. Keep my damn fingers out of the way so I don't hack myself. But I am getting it all over my keyboard like a dumbass. Alright, you guys can't really see what I'm doing, but I'm trying to cut this glue line right. Yeah. So I can get this little finger to pop off of there and then pop the whole switch out of this little plate and then go from there. And actually, I don't think you can actually take these apart. I think they're like welded together after they're made, aren't they? But we're gonna have fun trying, because what else are we gonna do? We can't do anything until this thing's running again. And I was gonna just stick this in the opening and let it go, put some caulk around it, but that's a little too dangerous even for me. It's just stupid, especially with a planer. That's asking for some serious issues. But it does seem like the stuff's working out very slowly, but I don't know if I can get it all out. But I wonder if I can get enough to get that finger to release. Freaking see what I'm doing. My hand's getting in the way of the light. I ain't got enough light. That's probably blinding you guys, huh? Ooh, that went down into the slot. Yeah, baby. And the finger is releasing. Sweetness. So I guess if I do the other side, I can pop it out of there. And the printer's running away. I should probably put an eyeball on it, huh? I'm not used to what it's doing. Oh my god, that looks gorgeous. I'm not going to say that's a perfect first layer, but it's a damn good first layer. It's a really, really good first layer. Fingers out of the way, dumbass. I think I'm going to switch the blade. Hopefully the other side is still sharp. Looks that way. I don't even know if I have any more of these laying around here somewhere. But these little baby ones. Come on. What is your problem? Oh, I see. You're not actually lined up to where you're supposed to be. Here we go. And let's chop out some more plastic here. Glue. It's just glue. And I know you guys can't really see what I'm doing, but you kind of get the idea. That's cutting much better. Now that I actually have a sharp blade in there. I don't think they got the glue way tighter in this one on this side than they did on the other. But I'm a determined son of a bitch. And I must fix it until it's properly broken. Which is literally what I'm doing right now. Is breaking it more broken than it's already been broken. But I got to do this anyways, because if you buy a new Switch, they don't give you this plate. You have to do what I'm doing right now anyways. Now that I think about it. So I got to do this anyways. You don't get this plate with the new Switch. At $40. They get $40 for this. Which is insane. I think this was like $19.95 and it's a higher amperage. Let's see, this is not that it's really all that higher. 16 amp, 120 volt, 12 to 16 switchable, and this one is a 20 to 12 amp. So this is actually higher amperage, 20 to 12. We're at 16 to 12. So maybe that switch will burn out faster. I don't know how it could burn out faster than this, because this burned out pretty fast. Oh, the thing's not new, and I do kind of abuse it. Putting that old oak, not really made to take that old oak. That should be going through a non-desktop cleaner. Come on. You should be through by now. No, you're very unlikely to see me draw blood doing this. I've been doing this for enough years where I know what I'm doing. I know how to not hack myself. Not that I don't once in a while. But I'm usually pretty good at not getting hacked in my old age. You're very unlikely to see any blood with me doing this, unless I just get pissed off and start going nuts on it. Which we're getting about to that point now, because I've been digging at this side for a while, and I think the glue's down underneath where I won't be able to get to it to get it out. Oh my god, the actual switch is coming apart. Will it focus on it? There it goes. I don't really see anything wrong with it, other than one of them's toggled and one of them isn't, but that shouldn't matter. I mean, that's a mechanical switch, and he's just rocked back and forth, make connections. So I don't know why it stopped working. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense that I can see. This thing's still working. Everything still seems to be working here. Cleaning off the last of the glue. This would be funny if all I needed to do was take it apart and put it back together and clean it up. Okay, how do these little toggle switchy things hold in there? They're all covered in grease, which I'm assuming is some kind of electrical grease. And again, I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but oh well. Is that just literally just sitting in there on a rocker arm? I believe it is. Yep. Well, it's very burnt there, but it's still not terrible. I don't know if you can see those two little connectors on the top. They're kind of burnt, especially this one. On this side is more burnt than this one, but it actually doesn't look terrible. I wonder if I can just scrape this off, because this is kind of cooked too. It looks like it's the same material as like a brush. I'm wondering if I can just clean this off, put it back together. That would be awesome. After I spent all that time designing. Because that cleaned up pretty easily. There was just black soot crap on it. See? Now it's all shiny. Now nice and shiny again, that is. Get the last of that black crap off of there. This might work again. I may just put this back together and go to town, because this one's even more blackened. But it does have a clean spot in the middle where it actually connects. What's up, Matt? See if I can try not to shine the light in your guys' face, but still be able to use that thing. Like, God, is it dirty too? It's a little better. Oh, this one's way more cooked. But I still think I can clean it off. And there it goes. There was like a coating that was just burnt on there. And again, I know you guys can't really see what I'm doing, but it's kind of more important I can than you can. It's almost just like a solder tab. That's way cleaner. It's all shiny and clean. Come on, focus. I know you want to. It sort of started focusing. I may have to clean it up and try it again. Now, how do I clean those little spots in there? I'm going to get something in there that can scrape it and then clean it. I got a big old mess on my desk. That would be awesome if I could repair this switch and not even have to use this thing on 3D printing. That would be even better because it is the stock switch. What do I have? I've got my little baby files to get in there. Nope. Did I drop it on the floor? Let's try a little flat baby file. Let's see if I can use the head of that to scrape it across that contact. And see if I can clean it up. Oh yeah, that ain't hard at all. That's actually working pretty well. I'm not going to say it's perfect. It is working pretty well. I may be putting this back together with this switch. After doing all that time designing 3D printing, I could have just tore it apart and fixed it. But what's the fun in that, right? Yeah, this has got a little melted spot on it, which probably happened. Because this happened yesterday when I was feeding the board through, or my brother was actually feeding the board through. I was with him, but he was doing the work. I was doing something else. And a knot and a chunk of the board broke free and jammed into the head of the planer. And it luckily I happened to be back over there when it happened, and I flipped the switch as fast as I can because it stopped the motor dead. That's way better. See those two little silvery spots are all cleaned up? There's a little bit on this side that at the very top that I still got to clean up. It's a little burnt. But that should be a much better connection. And that'll give me something to do for an hour while I frickin' pour it out. Just started raining. We haven't had rain in. What's up, Ed? Yeah, I think you're right, Ed. I think that's all that's wrong with it. I just don't think it was getting connection between them. So, these don't look like they're any different. One of them did look like it wasn't rocking as far as the other one was. So let's hold them up together and see if one's bent slightly. Nope, they look about the same arc. They have a small, I don't know if you can see it, but they have an arc in them, so they toggle. Make sure I'm doing this right. Connectors there, connectors there. Put this thing, I got tweezers here somewhere. Where are my tweezers? That would be the best thing for doing this. Oh, crap. My badass knees and back and everything. Wah. Wah, wah, wah. Where are my tweezers? I had them out the other day. They should be right here somewhere. They're really nice black tweezers. And that's the only thing I don't like about them is they're black because they blend in with everything else. And I really, really want them right now. I have a whole set of them back here, I think. Oh crap! I'm overtired. Can't move. Wah. What did I do with that set of tweezers? Right here. And there's more tweezers in it, so I could just grab another set of tweezers since I can't find the ones I was looking for. These will work. These are actually probably better because now I can get a grip on them. They're not all pointy. Oh, that didn't work. That did not work. It's all crooked in there. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing. But again, it's kind of more important I can than you can. It just sits in there, I guess. Does it actually snap in or something? Didn't feel like it when I took it out, but yeah, I guess it does because it just pushed in. Get that other one in place. That would be awesome if I just fixed the switch. They're back in place. If I can put this together without disturbing them is the hard part. Something doesn't seem right to me. Of course, I can't see what I'm doing because it's either glaring or... Is there any difference between these two? Is there a left and a right side? Doesn't look like it. It looks like everything's good. Except for it goes this way. That would be off. Come on. Get on there without those freaking little brass things moving. Come on, fingers. Fingers make pie. Might have to run out and get my meter. That'll tell me if I can get this thing on there. That little fingery thing doesn't want to snap up and over completely. It does feel like it. Look. Everything's still where it belongs. Looks like it. You just got to get the little fingers to snap over. I might have to get some pliers because it's got a rubber seal here, which is not lining up. That might be part of the problem. This little rubber seal isn't lining up. I'm going to have to do the I'll be back in 5 minutes thing. I'm going to run out to the garage. I was going to just cancel the stream, but I'm not. I'm going to run out to the garage and I'm going to grab my meter in the rain. It's raining like a bear. And I'm also going to grab like some channel locks that I can squeeze this down and get that seal to compress a little better. And I will get the meter. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes. And back. That was quick. Got my meter. It was pouring rain out. It got all wet, but I don't care. It's worth it. So, we have these, which, damn it, may not be long enough jawed. Then again, maybe. Just get it to squeeze and walk over. I think I got it. It's all snapped in. Switch is working. This might actually work. Okay, now all I gotta do is figure out how to use a meter. Because I played with meters, but I can never remember how they work. Terrible with meters. All the electrical bull crap. Which one does what and what does who. Meter. All right. Where do I set this thing? I think I need to set it over here, right here on this ohms thing, right? And that tells me resistance. And I should end up with 0 resistance or something, right? Trying to make it so you guys can see it too. So that's closed. And nothing changes. If I open it, I should get a closed circuit or open circuit, correct? Which it did, right? That's actually correct, right? I go. Is that right? I believe it is. I believe I fixed it. Because that's what it should do, right? Somebody tell me. Because I have no idea what I'm doing to this here meter thing. Did it get higher or lower? What's GG? Good to go? I think that's right, ain't it? Is there one of these settings I should be on that I don't know about? Where should I be? Obviously not volts, so not up here. I know those are volts. These are ohms. And this is amperage or something, ain't it? So this is actually what I want right here. And it doesn't really matter which one of these I click it on. As long as I'm getting nothing. Closed circuit. Oops, it's voltage. So that one means there's a no connection. And then I touch it and I get a connection. That means there's 0 resistance, correct? Am I right in my thinking? And that's saying I have 0 resistance. And that's saying I have 0 resistance. And if I flip the switch, I should still have resistance and nothing should change. And just make sure I didn't short anything out across here. I think I fixed it. What do you guys think? Did I do it right? Come on, somebody speak up. It clicks a whole lot better too now. I mean, it always had a nice snap to it, but it's much more snappy snap. If that makes sense. Oh my God, that would be so awesome if that's all it needed were those contacts cleaned up. But my beautiful print will be useless then because it's actually printed really, really nicely. That's a really nice PETG print. I'm thinking I fixed it, and it's almost lunchtime. So what I think I'll do was feed my mom her lunch because that's my real job. And after lunch, I will go and put it back together and see if it works again. You know, it was bogging and tripping the circuit breaker a lot more than it used to. I was thinking it was just that because it's got a built-in circuit breaker, and it was tripping the main building circuit breaker, not just its own. It tripped its own once in a while too, but even when you flip the switch, it sounded like, you know, it kind of went blah, 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 instead of going ring, starting right up. So I'm wondering if that's been going for a while and just had a crappy connection. Got dirt and grease and sawdust in there that burned up every time it connected, and that sounds absolutely beautiful. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kill the stream. I'm going to make lunch for Mom and probably myself, although I normally don't eat lunch. For some reason, I'm hungry. I will, that'll be done by then, hopefully. Got another half an hour, 40 minutes, because it was only like an hour and 10 minutes. What does it say? 45 minutes left. So I will make lunch. Won't take me 45 minutes to do lunch, but. And then I will restream, putting it back together out there, and hopefully try it. So excited. That fixed it. I'd just be so happy because I really don't want to use that other switch. I bought that for another machine. The other machine switch is fine. I just want the big flappy orange panel, you know, so you can shut it off. I've had it like do the same thing. It's a jointer. It's basically the same thing as a planer. It's just the way you feed it. It's still a spiral head with some blades. And I've had stuff jam in it, and the button's like down here, and it's a protected button. They protect the off button, which makes no sense. You should protect the on button, not the off button, but whatever. I want the flappy panel so I can just slap it and shut the thing down. Anyway, which is why I bought that switch. It's only like a $10 switch. So I'm going to kill it, do lunch, re-sign on, probably a half hour, 45 minutes. Because either way, I'll make sure that's done first. So even if this isn't fixed, I could just plug that one onto it and be done with it and have the planer up and running again today and run some boards. I have to run some boards today because I got to glue up some boards today. And I need to wax some boards today. I need to do stuff today. And I've been doing this instead. Not doing what I need to do. Anyway, all right. Killing it. See you guys.